Hello and welcome back, and today I want to return to the subject of Synology and a device that a number of users thought had maybe gone a bit vaporware and flew away to the large data center in the sky. Today I want to talk about the Synology FS200T, aka the DS625 Slim, a NAS device that was originally sort of semi-officially leaked at an event way back in Q1 2025, and a device we saw in the flesh, as it were, at Computex over in Taipei during May, June. Now, this is a 6-bay 2.5-inch NAS solution, and so I think for a lot of users, kind of myself included, a lot of us are wondering why this device exists. There was a reason a lot of people thought this device had kind of gone vaporware, because really, this seems like a device that maybe a couple of years ago would have been relatively popular, but now in the dizzy early days of 2026, it is entering a very, very aggressive landscape. Now, the FS200T is, as mentioned, a 6x 2.5-inch media solution, predominantly designed for storage like this, 2.5-inch SSD. It arrived with that Intel Celeron processor, which I know a lot of you absolutely love, the J4125. That is a quad-core Intel Celeron processor, originally released in 2019-2020. Alongside that, it also has 4 gig of DDR4 memory that can be scaled up to 8 gig over 2 SODIMM slots there. There are no M.2 NVMe slots. It's just those 6. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Stick with me. On the rear of the device, it's a single rear fan device there. It's got 2 network ports, one 2.5 gig network port and one 1 gig network port. It also has a couple of USB Type-A ports, which are 5 gig USB. There is no USB expansion port. There's no PCIe upgrade port. And a lot of users like myself are wondering, again, what is the point of this device? I've not spoken about this device for the better part of 6 to 7 months. Again, like a lot of you, I thought Synology had quietly cancelled it. I only really realised this device was still on the books after not only information being leaked to me from a couple of sources, but also starting to see appearances and information online. Alongside that, I've got to acknowledge that there are people still asking about this device. You can head over to Reddit. There are people still wondering when and if this device is going to drop. So clearly there's an audience for this. But why, when I say this is an aggressive landscape, why is this device entering quite a turbulent area of combat? Well, number one, when it comes to SSDs right now, not only are the prices mental, but the availability is all over the shop. And I think a lot of vendors are looking at the distribution of their production facilities and NAND and a lot of the hardware resources, and they are questioning whether 2.5-inch SATA is where a lot of that is going to go, and I'm definitely seeing them reprofiling and focusing a lot more on M.2. Likewise, NAS production at the price point this device is presumably targeting around a 500 NICA mark, just like its predecessor. Arguably, there are so many M.2 solutions available right now that yes, they don't have DSM on board, but they're certainly going to be a lot faster and arrive with better hardware profiling all the way through, from network connectivity to the performance of the M.2s inside, rather than this. This is a baffling release that no one would have held it against Synology to quietly kill off. I know I'm being incredibly negative about this because there are people that are going to like a solution like this. It is going to be near silent in operation. It is going to be incredibly small, measuring, if it's anything like its predecessor, 120mm by 150mm by 175mm. This thing is going to be minute, and to run DSM and all of its bells and whistles and services at that scale, that's fantastic. And also, for all of the S that we give the Intel Celeron processor, it's going to be low impact. This thing's power consumption is going to be tiny. Once you include those SSDs as well on board there, this thing, potentially day to day is going to be running single watts of power consumption perhaps. The point I'm making is, I know there is an audience for this solution, and there is a good reason why Synology are persisting with rolling this out, presumably at some point in Q1 of 2026. But with an aggressive range of M.2 solutions in the market, with 2.5-inch SATA, and you know, they've got their own range, we'll get to that in a second, but 2.5-inch SATA definitely dying a death in terms of availability and popularity across the market space, and the device arriving with a gigabit network and a 2.5 gig that couldn't hope to allow saturation of even 6 SATA SSDs in a RAID 5 or even RAID 6 in this device, even if you lost 2 drives to cache. It's really surprising, and still sticking with that CPU, and not at the very least giving this device the Flash Station FS moniker and not sticking that AMD V1500B processor inside. What the hell are you playing at? Not putting a couple of M.2s when there are solutions that have got that CPU like the DS423 Plus and 425 Plus that have M.2s. This not having that feels like a slap in the face. And finally, the SSD compatibility. Synology, if you are watching this, please don't roll this solution out with only support of your own SSDs inside there. Please. I know it's a flash station. I know it's got an FS at the title and it's not a Plus series. And we know about how you change the compatibility, but please do not roll this solution out only supporting your own SSDs. That would already put a death nail on a product that's already maybe sweating around the corner a little bit. I know this has been a tremendously negative video for a solution that definitely has an audience. But the FS200T, from the very moment I saw it at Computex the first time I heard about it, it felt a little tone deaf. And fast forward to the start of 2026, this is a bizarre solution to roll out when I know that brand is going to have some banger business and almost certainly an expansion to that B Station series that I'm genuinely interested to see them roll out on. But let's wait and see. This has been the FS200T and an update on that product and what we know so far. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I have a sneaking suspicion what it will be. Let's talk about that in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.